Good morning, children. So today I'm going to do, in my last video, I have completed economic growth and economic development. I have started, okay? And I have given you the certain points of economic growth and meaning of economic growth. And then I have explained you certain points of economic development and meaning of economic development, okay? So today I'm going to do this distinguish between economic growth and economic development. Is it clear? So all of you make a table with basis, okay? The difference between economic growth and economic development, people have to make a table. First write down the heading, the next heading, that is distinguish between economic growth and economic development, okay? And then make a table with a basis, okay? Write down first column write economic growth and second column write economic development, and one thin column you make of the basis, okay? First basis right concept. First basis right concept. Right. Economic growth is a narrow concept. First difference. Economic growth is a narrow concept because it includes only, it study only the real per capita income. Economic growth is a narrow concept because it study only the real per capita income. Full stop. For economic development you write. Economic development is comprehensive concept. Economic development is comprehensive concept because it not only study the real per capita income but also because it not only study the real per capita income but also the economic problems like poverty, inequality, unemployment, etc. This is the first difference. Write down the second difference. Write down the second difference. Meaning you write, and write down the meaning of economic growth and meaning of economic development that I have already given. Is it clear? Then third basis write economic indicator. Okay. So first understand this point. अब मैंने तुमसे क्या बोला था? Concept of economic growth I have explained you. Then I told you that economic growth is the process of increase in real per capita income. And how we calculate the real per capita income? We calculate in terms of national income. Is it clear? Only income. So economic growth is restricted with the economic indicator of economic growth is only income. क्योंकि हम लोग इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ में क्या पढ़ते हैं? हम लोग इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ में पढ़ते हैं द प्रोसेस ऑफ इंक्रीज इन रियल पर कैपिटा इनकम. और रियल पर कैपिटा इनकम कैसे मेजर होती है? नेशनल इनकम डिवाइडेड बाय पॉपुलेशन. सो economic growth is concerned only with income, okay? But when you say economic development, it not only concerned with income, but it also concerned with certain other non-economic indicators like illiteracy, housing facility, health facility, unemployment problem, poverty problem, etc. Is it clear? So economic growth is strictly limited to economic indicator, that is income, but economic development is not only related to economic indicator like income, but also non-economic indicators like literacy, poverty, housing, unemployment, etc. Okay, so write down basis, third basis you have written economic indicator. Under this you write economic growth is strictly expressed in terms of economic indicator, that is income. Economic growth is strictly expressed in terms of economic indicator only, that is income. Full stop. Just opposite of this, for economic development you write economic development is not only expressed in terms of economic indicator, that is income, but also in terms of non-economic indicators like illiteracy, unemployment, poverty, housing facility, etc. That is the third difference. So first basis we have taken concept, second basis we have taken meaning, third basis we have taken economic indicator. Okay, write down the fourth basis. Fourth basis, nature. Fourth basis, write down nature. Okay, now here you need to understand one thing. Illiteracy, unemployment, poverty, these problems are existing in which country? Whether in developed or underdeveloped. Obviously, these problems exist in underdeveloped country or developing country, because the country who is developed don't have the problem of illiteracy, unemployment, poverty. These problems they don't have. The developed countries only focus to increase their real per capita income. They are not required to focus on the problems like unemployment, poverty. Why they don't focus? Because they don't have this problem. So, economic growth is the concept which is applicable in developed country. Why applicable? And economic development is not applicable in developed country, because economic development इंक्लूड करता है पॉवर्टी, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, इलिटरेसी को, जो डेवलप्ड कंट्री में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती हैं. सो what is the nature of economic growth? The nature of economic growth is that it is applicable in developed country. What is the nature of economic development? The nature of economic development is that it is applicable in developing or underdeveloped countries, because the problems of poverty, unemployment exist in these countries only. I hope you people have understood. Write down the next basis as nature. Write down the next basis as nature. Under nature, write down for economic growth. Economic growth is applicable only in economic growth is applicable in developed countries. Economic growth is applicable in developed countries. But for economic development, right? But economic development is applicable in developing or underdeveloped countries. But economic development is applicable in developed or underdeveloping countries, because the problems of poverty, unemployment, illiteracy exist only in these countries. Exist only in these countries. Okay. Next basis, economic progress. Next basis, economic progress. So, write down economic growth measures economic progress quantitatively. We have discussed this, okay? How economic progress is measured in economic growth? Quantitatively. How economic progress is measured in economic development? Qualitatively. So, your basis is economic progress. For economic growth, write down economic growth is Economic growth indicates the economic progress in quantitative sense. In quantitative sense. Opposite of this, economic development measures economic progress in qualitative sense. In qualitative sense. Full stop. In qualitative sense. Okay, so we have completed today the difference between economic growth and economic development. That you people have to write basis, then economic growth, then economic development. Okay, then tomorrow I am going to start the last topic of the chapter, that is economic growth as the indicator to measure economic, how we calculate the economic growth. That we are going to do tomorrow, and that will be the last topic of the chapter. Okay, so this chapter only has meaning and concept of economic growth and development, distinguish between economic growth and development, and tomorrow I am going to do the last topic, that is the calculation of economic growth. Okay, then these are the topic of this chapter. For today only this much. Thank you, children.